The headline is not from The Onion. The headline is from The Hill. Warren joins Castro in call to decriminalize illegal border crossings. Okay, you all know this. I'm going to say it anyway. We have a migration crisis. We have a humanitarian crisis. More than 144,000 migrants coming across the border in the past month alone. We need to figure out how to secure the borders to disincentivize people taking this dangerous journey and dying. Well, Elizabeth Warren and Julian Castro decided to go the complete other direction and completely decriminalize the behavior, thus creating an incentives for people to actually go on the dangerous journey. Can we just please stop? Can we think about a practical solution? This is pandering to her base, plain and simple. Not even to her base. These are people who are pandering to woke Twitter. No, regular Americans are not going to be happy that you're doing this. Look, nobody likes harsh conditions at the border. Nobody likes harsh conditions in these detention centers. But this is going to make the problem worse. To me, this says that Castro and Warren are more interested in winning elections than actually being honest and solving problems. And if she really believes this is a good idea, well, then she's nuts, completely nuts. Let's read from The Hill. They say Julian Castro today praised Elizabeth Warren, a top-tier candidate, for joining him in his call to decriminalize illegal border crossings. Thank you, Warren, for joining me on this issue. We shouldn't criminalize desperation. It's time to repeal this terrible law. Once again, we can see the dishonesty, the deceit, and my God, I just can't stand politicians. Vox.com, the far left, Vox.com, published some statements from migrants. And I'm always going to reference this because it's important. Now, these are some specific examples. It's anecdotal, but it's important to understand this. In a statement asking why they were coming to the U.S. from Guatemala and Honduras through Mexico, one person said, "I miss Buffalo Wild Wings." Okay, I appreciate that. I too love B-Dubs. They have excellent garlic Parmesan sauce, and with the boneless wings, you know what? I think I'm going to go to B-Dubs tonight. Not a commercial for B-Dubs. I can respect that you want to go there. But that is not desperation, and that is not a reason to go on this massive, dangerous journey and break the U.S. law to come to this country. We're trying to protect refugees. We're trying to protect life, not make sure you can have chicken wings with tasty sauce. More importantly, there are Buffalo Wild Wings all over Mexico. Now again, I'm citing a very particular example. Another example was an individual saying, "I miss PlayStation." Listen, if I were to claim that all migrants are coming here because they want Buffalo Wild Wings or PlayStation, that would be dishonest. And that's the point I'm making. When they say we can't criminalize desperation, you are being dishonest. Most of these people are not desperate. They are just looking for opportunity. There's a big difference between people who are scared and in harm's way and the average person who is coming for a better life. That's why they're called economic migrants versus refugees. But this is the game they play to try and pander to a base. Trump says we got to deal with illegal immigration, so they make it seem like every single migrant is in trouble, is desperate, is seeking refugee status. Ocasio-Cortez calls them refugee children. Oh my God, dude, please. The reality is they are people. They want to come to America. They're looking for a better life, plain and simple. A portion of them, I believe it's around less than 10%, really do need asylum. I want to protect them. I think we should. Another percentage, probably larger, just want Buffalo Wild Wings. But those are more of the extreme ends. You'll probably find people who say, look, I can't find work in my country and survival is difficult. I'm going to come to America to try something else. That's probably the more typical response. It is close to desperation. There's a big difference between you figuring out how to survive in your country and coming to the U.S., skipping through Mexico. Mexico is a beautiful country. These look, I kid you not. Talk to one of these progressive types, and they're going to explain to you how Mexico is a hot, sweaty desert. There was a really funny post on Reddit where they said Mexico City in real life, and it's a picture of this big, busy street in Mexico City. It's very beautiful with palm trees and modern buildings. Looks like any other major city. And they put Mexico City in the movies, and they put a sepia tone over it. That's what they do in movies. It's really funny because when you watch a movie about Canada, it's blue. When you watch a movie about Mexico, it's orange. People, these people don't know anything about Mexico, and they assume it's all this desert wasteland. Man, Mexico City is a massive developed place with taco shops and fast food restaurants and Buffalo Wild Wings, and it's actually kind of cold sometimes because it's elevated. Mexico City is actually really awesome. I recommend going there if you haven't. People have this misconception about what Mexico is really like. The point I'm making is that if you were going to skip through Mexico, you're not desperate. Desperation would be going into Mexico and accepting their asylum offer. It would be going to Mexico City and being like, we made it. We're in a big city with modern technology and buses and restaurants and it's safe and but that's not desperation. That's what they're trying to do. They're trying to make it seem like, all these people who are coming from Africa, right? We have a record number of African migrants flying to Brazil, coming up. Look, that is not desperation, dude. I'm sorry. If you're in Brazil, you are no longer in fear for your life. Now, so what happens, right? So let's put it this way. You're specifically being targeted in Angola or the Congo. So they fly to Brazil. Now they're being targeted in Brazil. What happens when they come to the U.S. and then they get targeted by the alt-right, as the media would like to have us believe? Where do they go next? Canada? Okay. Well, the U.S. is bringing a lot of people to Portland, Maine. Maybe that's their plan. They say Warren has yet to release a comprehensive immigration reform plan, but expressed her support for Castro's plan in a statement to HuffPost. We should not be criminalizing mamas and babies trying to flee violence at home or trying to build a better future. You're right. Stop lying. I can't stand the lies. It's all PR nonsense. I just hate this kind of PR. You know what, man? If there's one thing that will get me angry, it's overt lies. Overt lies. You can be wrong. I think Trump lies a lot, but I think he's wrong a lot. And they call him a liar. They say everything's a lie. It's like, yeah, well, hold on. That implies we know what his intention is. Okay, so let me walk that statement back on Elizabeth Warren. She's either really, really dumb and has no idea what she's talking about, or she's lying to you to pander to a base. It does not make sense to decriminalize illegal border crossings. It literally does not make sense. You will increase the problems, and it will result in more loss of life. These people don't care. I don't believe Elizabeth Warren cares at all. Look, I'll give her credit for calling out big tech and calling for them to be broken up, but absolutely not. Elizabeth Warren is once again playing this ridiculous game of trying to pander to a base by saying mamas and babies trying to flee violence. Okay, so let's decriminalize asylum seekers. When they are confirmed to be seeking asylum, when it is confirmed, then we can say there's no criminal charge. How about that? Right? Mamas and babies, right? But I'll tell you what, that will increase the likelihood you will see mamas and babies fleeing to the border, crossing through Mexico, and coming to the U.S. I'll say it a million times, man. Mexico's an awesome place. I have friends who prefer to be in Mexico City. I have friends who left the U.S. to go hang out in Mexico City because they like it better. The weather's actually amazing. I really did think it was going to be hot when I went there. It was awesome. So these people who are skipping through there, that's not desperation. That is not desperation. Mamas and babies. An emotional attack on an individual. If you're not thinking rationally and you hear that, that is an emotional assault and is a manipulation tactic. And I'll tell you this. You want to make me angry really, really fast? Try and manipulate me. I'm not saying I'm invincible. I grew up with a bunch of hacker buddies. I'm very well versed in social engineering. I know what manipulation looks like, and it sets me off real quick. Don't try it. You are very unlikely to succeed. It's possible. Nobody's invincible. I always tell people this. You can be manipulated. Right? People are manipulated all the time. But when you play these games, mamas and babies, I know what you're doing, and you're disgusting. You're completely disgusting. A man and his daughter was just died crossing the border. A woman and three children, 2 babies, found dead from heat stroke or exhaustion. And now you're trying to say, don't worry, you can come. We won't criminalize it. So these people are coming thousands of miles, risking their lives for your false promises. I'm just so disgusted by this behavior. Look, I want to protect people. Some people are willing to take the risk. They shouldn't. Their kids are going to get hurt. And it's happened. And now you've got these statements. Warren told the Washington Post earlier this month that she would seek to repeal criminal penalties for people apprehended while crossing the border. Great. Expect to see the numbers skyrocket now because of rhetoric like this. There are people hearing this saying, hey, now's our chance. We can come to America. They're not desperate. They're just like, hey, it's like if somebody said, here's $1 million in a briefcase, but you got to cross a pit of lava, people are going to go for it and they're going to die doing it, okay? But you're safe where you are. A lot of these people are safe where they are. They just want that pot of gold at the end of the rainbow because the grass is always greener. I interviewed some migrants, refugees in Athens, and they told me, some migrants in Athens told me it was a mistake. They thought it was going to be so much better. The grass was greener. It wasn't. It was worse, and now they're truly desperate. I talked to some migrants in France. They said the same thing. it was a mistake to come here. I was better off at home. They thought it would be better. When you have someone like Warren say this, they think they're going to welcome us with open arms. And then you get here, and no, it's not. That's not what's going to happen. You're going to be put in a detention center. You're going to be charged for criminally entering the country. You're going to be deported. You're going to be separated from all these really bad things that I don't like. But I'll tell you what, we don't have a solution. Let you wander through the desert? Great. Then we find bodies. I'm not okay with that either. So I don't know what we can do. I know that she's making it worse. They say, Warren's reported support for decriminalizing undocumented border crossings follows reports of alleged unsanitary and unsafe conditions at migrant detention centers. On Tuesday, it was announced acting Customs and Border Protection. See, I just read it, right? They spell it customers, they said. CBP Commissioner John Sanders will be stepping down. Okay. Well, I've got more stories, more updates, so stick around. The next segment will be at 4 p.m., an update on what's going on with Veritas and censorship. YouTube.com/Timcast. If you like my content, you made it this far, donate to Timcast.com/donate, but share the video. If you don't think the video should be shared, then I don't deserve the views in the first place. So I appreciate anybody who's willing to make that, just to do that. It's not complicated, but you don't have to. And I will have more content for you coming up 4 p.m. And also, this will be available as a podcast on iTunes and Google and Spotify. Every day around 6:30, a new episode will go up. Check out the podcast. I will see you all the next segment.